You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box here on Monday night, Moon Day, whatever you want to call it. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, criticalmassradio.co.uk, broadcasting to you live. Of course, it's a little hard for the dead to broadcast anything, and that's the whole joke of this system, from an undisclosed point in space-time continuum, because it doesn't exist. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of fun, this game. I got to tell you, just based on the stuff that Dee's been sending me, and, of course, a couple of my Scottish kin compatriots. See, the Scottish and the Irish are the same people. Just a little bit of water between them, that's all. Celts, right? Anyway, just if this system thing stands a chance at all, no, game over. It is so over. Just watching this stuff unfold in real time now, so it's making it kind of fun. Well, it's been fun for a while. And one of the reasons why, I let a lot of stuff play out just to get rid of the energies. And that's what I really do want to stress to people, especially right now. The hive mind is going schizoid. Okay, and if you are attached to that hive mind at all, and that's your reptilian brainstem, if it has any power over you whatsoever, you will react to it. And please pay attention to that. It's not a negative, guys. This is where you get to observe the contrast and to see, are these your thoughts or are they something coming in at you from somewhere else? Because I assure you, they're not your thoughts. A couple of interesting pieces here that I wanted to share right out of the gate tonight to keep this on a very pedagogic level. A few things that I was meditating on this morning, just the sounds of the names, like the Aztecs, you might call them Aztecs, Aztecs, which are the wizards of technology. They disappeared. Of course, the Mayans or Mayans, Maya means illusions. Well, they kind of disappeared in a hurry. Well, of course they did. It's a magnetic electric Mayan goddess, right? And of course, have a look through things, just a coincidental nature of things like, cart before the horse. Well, are they referring to Carthage, the heart age, the core, the heart of the law of truth age? Well, of course, that's the A that's been hexed into consciousness, the G. It's really kind of funny how a lot of these things happen. And, of course, you have the Row-man-slave galleys. Of course, that's the hexed all eyes, G, all eyes. You might say galleys, but I just kind of slow it down a bit and start pulling stuff apart. And what I have decided to do is I'm going to do a rudimentary key for which letters and sounds to replace within words. I'm going to keep it really, really simple. You don't need a lot of this to see what's going on inside the Phoenician or the trickster of the language. I was discussing the word psychology this morning. Isn't it funny that it's once you take the G out and put the K in, it becomes something entirely perfect. Psi, spirit, duality, low key, trickster. So the spirit of duality trickster. That's what psychology is. And boy, do they fit that bill, right? And the irony about psychologists is that they have long deemed the human to be just a simple meat stick and nothing more than that, no spirit or whatever. Well, they're talking about their own breed, actually. And I'm going to touch on an email that Dee sent me that, of course, everything has been just connecting left, right, and center today. So this will probably shed a bit of light on a number of things. Now, remember, keep this anagogic, guys. Don't get literal with me because you're going to miss it otherwise. And the whole game here is we've been staring at the literal, getting all of these long, drawn-out explanations of something that requires maybe 3 or 4 words. One of the reasons why I get so frustrated just talking, excuse me, in any length at all. But, again, it's about getting this anagogic concept driven home. Now, Dee had sent me this. A couple of things I want to go over as well with regards to the tarot that Paul sent, one of the Scottish compatriots. And just to let people know, my great-grandfather actually came over from Scotland to Ireland, and as fate, Fati would have it, my grandfather, being of Scottish birth, married my grandmother, being of Southern Irish birth, County Wicklow. So it was a complete unification of the Celt energies from both sources. So again, find your life path in all the things that are relevant to you. All I can do is show you how I found mine, and because there's nothing I can do for your life path. That's yours. I can maybe point a couple of hints at you in particular, but really it's just start letting go of things that you would think to be coincidence. There is not one single coincidence where everything is coincidence. You see, that's the problem with doubt is a leap of faith, right? If you take a leap of faith and it works, you'll be all excited. But there's also the essence of doubt in there, because you could consider that luck. So remove the doubt, from the I believe I can do this to I know I'm right. Move from Pisces, and everyone gets stuck at the Pisces. They won't take the second step into Aquarius, which is the allegory of changing their stars. And this is how you change your stars, by walking the right paths. So as soon as let's say something you did that you thought might be impossible, and you took your leap of faith, you took your step into it, suddenly if you find that, oh gosh, it is possible. But then there's that, well, maybe it was just lucky, maybe it was just coincidence. Well, take the same thing and take the next step. And when you see that the truth that is self-evident stands for itself, it's not luck anymore. And I will use that in two examples of me that I can show literally online. A judge bows to the sovereign, leap of faith. Cops run away, March 14th. Aquarian, I know. There's no doubt. It removes all the doubt. If it happens once, it might be luck. But if lightning strikes the same place twice, that's not luck. That's fact. And that's this whole leap of faith. Everyone keeps forgetting that a leap of faith is one thing. It's taking that second step that's really going to make or break you. And most people are terrified to take the second step. And prime example with, I think it was Janet the other night. She was in the parking lot, and again, the Goonies come in and leave. There's no one getting through these barriers once you know this. And I'm going to go through this email. I won't go. I'll go at whatever pace is required to get this point across. But I really want to drill this whole alternate entity aspect home. Okay, that we as spiritual beings, infinite spiritual beings, have been messed with by our own consent. So let's lose the blame game right now. Okay, try this on. Oh, I fucked up. Time to fix it. And that's what we're doing here. Let go of all the shit, let go of all the ego, let go of all the emotion, and then start getting down to the brass tacks of what it is we need to do. And we've uncovered so much in the last number of weeks that I see in the last couple of weeks, stuff that would have taken 10 years in terms of aha moments to accomplish, a couple of years ago. All right, so we're moving this at an exponential level. So bear with me on this, and stay anagogic, because I really want you to start to get the notion of this very surreal little Oz that we're in. And what Dee had written me was this. Here's a blastopasta from the past. And this was something regarding Dan Winter's fractalfield.com, negentropic fields. But again, don't get literal on this. Remember, pretty much everybody you're going to talk to is going to have a literal explanation for a literally physical phenomena, where I'll take it a little bit beyond that, and many of you will as well. But anyway, here's a blasto from the past. Normally his stuff gives me a headache, but I will scan first page. Oh, here it is. What is patterning, I'm not entirely sure, but it will go along with Swiss Indo Psi, which is the three aspects I sent today, as well as Michael Tellinger Quartz Crystal Breakdown and Malachi Prophecy Snap-In. But here's the meat and potatoes of what this is. Quartz, love that word. Quartz is the second most abundant mineral in the Earth's continental crust, after feldspar. Isn't that an interesting word? I'll bust this down later, but yeah, that has a different frequency in it. Anyway, it is made up of a continuous framework of silicon-oxygen tetrahedra, with each oxygen being shared between two tetrahedra, giving an overall formula, SiO2. All right? So here's a D-SNP first page about close to top silicon cone-based nerves. Now, pay attention to this. You've heard me talk about N-Ibi-Uru, Nibiru, the Ibi, the bird brain, the higher mind, and Uru, the reptilian brain stem. The 23rd and 24th chromosomes that were fused together was this entity aspect that has fused itself into our DNA. And I talked about this a few years ago, not to the same obvious degree, but I understood exactly then what this is saying now, so it's still holding its perfect self-evidence. So bear with me. T, Draco, Uru, the Nephilim, Anunnaki, part ancestors. Now, this is a description of them. They're lipid-based blood, which is nitrogen-breathing, cyanogen-exhaling, yeah, nice, eh? Radioactive field requiring silicon-based nerves, which present an entirely different contrast, making electrically impossible most of the pathways to getting what we would today call a soul, namely the ability to lucid dream, astral project, and take memory through death, for example. Yahweh or Enlil was by blood a Draco or Uru. Okay? So let's take the overall entity aspect and the fact that our DNA chain was messed with that pulled us out of our perfect realm into this physical nightmare. And, of course, by consent, well, that's what happens with 12-year-old little girls that see dirty old men with candy because they're all trusting and because there's that innocence, the whole notion of somebody harming them, you, me, was completely inconceivable, which, of course, is not so inconceivable after all because it happened. That word by itself is a totally oxymoronic word. Inconceivable, there is nothing that is inconceivable. Fact. If you can think it, you can conceive it. Conceive? Oh, something about birth? Yeah, that's what concept is, to give birth. Conceive, concept, right? Conception. Concept ion, with God ion, with 7, creations ion. Okay, so in layman's terms, what we have are entities of a physical only realm because they cannot possess souls. And this is what I talked about a long time ago, and what I referred to in that little write-up yesterday with the shitty R. And of course, rearrange the letters and you have exactly what they are, shite. Okay? These are soulless entities that can only exist in a physical sense and require the spiritual breath or the power of all creation of the spirit because they themselves cannot. It's electrically impossible. So here's the game as I saw it. Well, because they cannot have a soul, they will attach themselves to those that do, and of course the Nephilim trying to fuse themselves into the what could be deemed human, pre-human, by the way. I'd rather use that because human in any sense of the word is not as accurate as I'd like it to be. But have attached themselves genetically, and as Dan Winter put out a long time ago, that these were very, very sloppy geneticists, which they are, in an attempt to invade the higher realms. This is the Alamo. You are the soul, the Alamo. Okay? No one yields on this one. That's why I say the game's over, because nothing's getting through me. Nothing. Not one single spiritual contract, not one single consent. I will not allow any vampiric, werewolfing, Nephilim, physical-only, dead, bioborg entity get anything from me. The hose is cut. Get the visual of Neo when all of the lines popped off him when he came out of the battery source. That's the allegory of what's going on here. The difference is you can't feel these hoses that are attached to you, draining the life out of you. Excuse me. Isn't it funny that I watched The Princess Bride last night, which I haven't seen in a very long time, and of course there was the evil guy who had no compassion. He was just interested in the effects, where he had built a machine that would drain the life source out of an individual, 1 year or whatever at a time. So that is the anagogic breakdown of what's going on here. And of course, truth must always be presented. Now, truth, all's fair in love and war. I can present a half-truth to you. And if you're only looking at it from a pre-programmed perspective, you will see the half-truth as being the whole truth. And nothing but that truth. That's a polarized ego. That's a polarized ego perspective of looking at things from only half of the picture. That's your D, which is half the circle. What you're doing now is you're making a full mirror out of it, or a full globe instead of the mirror of the half moon, the capital letter D. I talked about God, G-O-D, mirrored and reversed, and literally flipped upside down over top, and it creates the Phoenician letter, which we would call a T, a capital L-T, which is a circle with an X in it. Of course, Greek letter X is Ki, Chi, which is life, Chinese. But Ki, where you park a ship, a mind, Q-U-A-Y, a key that you unlock a door with. Of course, X is the symbol for it, which is the Aleph. Thank you, Paul. The Aleph of the Hebrew alphabet. Again, X marks the spot. And that's why I want to go through this key as well for the tarot and the symbols, the Hebrew symbols beside it. And it's very, very revealing when you start understanding what the letters really mean and the shapes, where we've gone beyond just literal definitions of them and started to see the real, or hear the real sound contained within that light symbol. That we're not blinded by the symbol crashes anymore. It's waking us up, and that's where I like to stay anyway. It works better for me. There's Paul. BTR listener, let's check for you, Paul. And if not, actually, I can bring you with me, because the stuff we keep going back and forth, I'd love to have you in on this. And I also, that's a BTR listener 056. But hang on, Paul, I'll bring you in with me. And let me get you here. All right. And I put an email out to D. I definitely want to have a one-on-one chat with him. If we just get through it, absolutely, we'll be fine. There we go. Hey, Paul, are you there?
I like it. What's happening?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You like that information, did you?
What's that?
Did you like that information?
Oh, yeah. Again, I mean, there's a Legionnaire Mac and D, of course. Legionnaire and you are of the Celt Scot, and of course Northern Irish tranny bitch here. So
yeah, use cash as well.
And use cash. Yep, absolutely. And of course we have Adamantium, and there's a handful of others that are really, really drilling this home. And collectively, I got to tell you, the stuff that all you guys are pulling together, and of course Mystified with the Narmer palette and all the rest of this stuff, and how quickly this is all coming together. And again, speaking of which, someone had posted yesterday about on my Facebook regarding reposting material that, quote, I wrote, unquote. Guys, I don't give a fuck who takes credit for it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Okay? If it resonates with you, am I going to claim the words? No. If the concept works with you and you would use the exact same words as me to explain it, then whose document is it? Whose words are they? Well, they're not just mine, are they? They're everybody's. Okay, so lose this whole I need credit for this, or I don't need credit for it. Lose the whole system think on this one. If it's truth, get it the fuck out there. It doesn't matter if it's got my name on it or somebody else's. That's irrelevant. All the name is a direction to find me, okay? And that is the thread that holds this whole system together. It's the one thread that connects back to the Narmer palette and the original curse, okay? Remember, the Mian and the King Mian, all right? As above, so below. You have the Mayan, which are on one side of the planet, and you have the King Mean, or King Mian, the male, and of course the Mayan is feminine, on the other side of the planet, where consciousness got gypped. Egypt, just a coincidence, right? Let's go back to the cart and horse. Carthage, You got no. You see, I don't put the cart behind the whores of Babylon anymore. I put the Carthage in front of the whores of Babylon. That's what the Romans did. Interesting. The symbol for the chariot, by the way, Paul. I thought this stuff is amazing.
Yeah, it's just what you were saying there about Egypt and that. I've been looking at a fair bit of this, Kate, and there's you look at the Hermetic stuff, you know, it's who's coming through that? Is it Hermes or Zoroaster? And then you're looking at a lot and they're saying, well, it was Abraham's grandson. And you're saying, what? Where's this coming from, you know? And then you start to look at Abraham and all this carry on, you know, and then looking at Scotland, you start to find some strange names in Scotland, especially, like, as I was saying to you earlier, Aaron. That was Moses' brother. Plus, there's a lot of other strange things, a lot of pyramids and stuff like that.
Hey, Paul, I'm glad you mentioned Aaron, because you have the Aaron sweaters. Aaron Island?
Aaron Island, yeah.
Okay, now let's...
Aaron, yeah.
What was... You see, now look at the Bible in reverse, right? Moses, Akhenaten, condemned his brother Aaron for what? Worshipping the golden calf.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Now, hang on. What rules the calf in the astrotheology?
Was that not the Taurus bull, as you were saying?
No, Aquarius.
Aquarius, oh, right enough, yeah.
Right?
See, I'm trying to know all that, or like say the astrotheology stuff, especially the zodiac and that. I'm just getting into that, Kate, but it's more the theology I was sticking in the history. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally. This is why I get people to have a look at everything, and because what happens is if you have specialized in anything, well, what's money? What's money? Species, right? If you're specialized, you're blinded. You've got the blinders on to everything else.
Polarized for that as well, Kate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's it. You've got those goggles on. You're not seeing the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean?
So would it not make sense for? Of course, Moses wants to make sure that we, Akhenaten, that the people don't get into the age of knowing. Mm-hmm. You know. So of course, let's destroy the golden calf. Right. Let's destroy the true knowledge, the I know, which, quite frankly, just really epitomized the whole Piscean mental control of those that are way out of time here.
They're up to, when you start to look at it, Kate, they're up to crazy magic, especially when you start to look at the Hebrew side of things. When you start to read, like, say, Cornelius Agrippa and Robert Flood, a lot of people that Santos Bonacci was speaking about, you know, Pico de Mirandola and stuff like that. A lot of these people were reading the Hermetic stuff through Christian eyes, you could say, you know. And then you start to look at it, like this other dude called Ludovico Marsilio, and he was like, he's saying, no, this is pure magic, nothing to do with religions or anything. And when you start to look at the Hermetic stuff, you know yourself, there's a lot of magic involved. And when you see people, you know, like abracadabra, you know what I mean? You need to watch what you think. People think you're, especially where I live in Scotland and that, you know, you try to open people's eyes up to it, it's like, fuck off, mate.
I know, it hurts, eh?
You know what I mean? People aren't interested, Kate. And then, but when you start to get into the meat stick side of things, like you say, oh, do you know this and that about law? Then people say, oh, wait a minute, mate, oh, that sounds interesting. Do you know what I mean? So it's only through meat sticky sometimes you're managing to get some people to make them open their minds and say, oh, wait a minute here, especially in Scotland with the old Catholic Protestant religious divide, which is
the Celtic and the Rangers. Yeah, here one sec, Paul. Just letting Ninja know that her line's open, and I've got area code 757 open. Not sure who that is, but yeah, I want to carry on through this, Paul, because I know you've uncovered it's so many. I mean, we've chatted back and forth on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, for a few.
I know you've heard stuff that you've sent to me on air, and just to let people know, I pay attention to what's going on, and I'm also going to pay very close attention to those that are fucking way outside the box and are looking for the anagogics, and they're finding them, and it's so easy to connect them once others, and this is how we do this together. But anyway, we've got Ninja and area code 757. Jump in.
Hi, Kate. Paul.
Hello.
All right, thanks. How's things, Ninja?
All right, yeah, I'm enjoying listening. But I just happen to still be awake while I called in.
This is my first time with the old tranny, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
first time on the old radio, you know what I'm saying? So
I got you, Radio Terry. Hey, who we got on 757?
Hi, my name is Olivia.
Hey, Olivia.
Hi, I have been listening to you, Kate, for the last 4 years, and I am so glad to be here tonight in the group, and I'm telling you, you are so marvelous, and I leave a lot of comments on my YouTube website, but I'm so great to be in the room with everyone. Hello.
Hello, Olivia. Welcome. About time you showed up. We've been waiting for you. Where have you been?
Oh, thank you. Let me tell you, I'm here every night. I make sure before I go to bed every night I listen to you. And what I want to share tonight is that when I came fully awakened, it was when my mother died, and it was 2007. She basically had a stroke. I'm a nurse. I retired, so I had to take care of her, and I did, and she died in my home. And it was really extreme because my mother was my friend. She was my mother. She was the best person I ever knew in my whole life. And she had all these good things and all these good stories to tell me, but she never, ever, ever went to a church in her life. And she would never, ever go to a church, and she didn't believe in religion at all. And my mother basically was Cherokee, and she basically never had a birth certificate. None of my grandparents, none of them have birth certificates. And my grandmother was very extremely awakened. And the things that happened as a child in my life, like one occasion when I was a child, I had chicken pox, and I was 6 years old. And this morning, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was awakened by my mom and my grandma and my grandfather. And my grandmother had all these chickens, but she had them in this perfect little, like, square pen all the time with this little house inside. So they took me inside this pen at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it had to be done at a certain time. And they put me in this burlap sack, and it was itchy, and I didn't know what was going on. And they laid me in front of the chicken house, and when the door opened, at about 15 minutes later, because it has to be a certain time when the sun comes up, it was in the summer, all the chickens will come out, and they had to fly over you. And I was screaming so bad because all the chickens started coming out and flying over me. Well, the very next day, all the chicken pox were gone. Every one of them, and it was impossible because I was born in the 50s, and back then you couldn't go to school for 2 weeks until the chicken pox was all gone. So that was like one extreme of my life that I really, really, really remember. And by being awakened extremely, when I was 3 years old, my mom was having a birthday party for me. And I touched her hand. It was early in the morning because she had a birthday party early in the morning. And I touched her hand and I'm like, Mom, why are you saying I'm 3 years old? I've been here for a long time. And so everybody started laughing at me, but I never forgot that. Well, my grandfather, because I got hurt as a kid, I fell on some glass, and it went into my stomach, and my intestines came out, and it was really a major surgery when I was a kid. So my grandfather felt the urge to protect me because he basically worked for himself. So what he did was always used to tell me things, and the main thing he used to always tell me that I never forgot was never be so good and say you're good for nothing. Until I was 26 years old, because I got married early, I never knew what that meant. But being awakened in those moments, because they were trying to give me the stories, but they were not really coming through yet. But because, long story short, when my mom died, I had this, it was not a dream because I know I was there. So I went to this place, and my mom was there, and I floated up into a hallway, and I kept walking and walking, and no doors were on the left. It was like an empty space there. But on the right, there were all doors. So I stopped when I got to a certain door because the door opened for me to come in. So I went in, and there was my mom, and she was there, and she was telling me to please come in. But her head was pointing towards me as I was walking in the door, so she was not where I could see her. But there was all of these entities standing in front of her, and they had these colored suits on that was gray, and they were all basically table like perfect. So I looked at them, and I got kind of like afraid, and I basically looked at my mom telling me to come here, come here, come here. So I just pushed the people or whatever they were away, and it was like the wind just blew them away. So my mom told me she came there to give me a message, and she told me how much she loved me and what I did for her was so superior. But there was a message why I came there. And Kate, let me tell you, I begged when I woke up that I was crying, and I woke up and I could not believe that this has happened. So what I said to her and said to me is like, oh, my God, please tell me that the people that were standing there, whoever they were, because I could not see any faces, that they weren't there hurting my mom because I know how good she was. So I had the urge to know that, and for 3 weeks I didn't know it until one day the voice came to me, and it always does because I have been in meditation for the last 5 years, but it came to me and told me that my mom went there because she was not at her top of her level to graduate, but because of her superiority. And my mom was never materialistic, never ego-filled, never fearful. She was so loving, and she was everything. And because that no matter what level she was, she had perfection. But there was something to learn because the people that were standing there, they were superior. So what they did was they emptied out Cain. They deprogrammed all of Cain to make everything come back into its perfection. And I'm not to know what that perfection is. So once I found that out, my meditation was trying to control it, so I told myself that I was going to take myself back there again. And when I did, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up and I ran right into my window in my room because it's like your body does go beyond anything, but at the same time, to be awakened right now and to understand through whatever you're teaching all of us is basically so superior, and it's so wonderful, and I am so grateful to know you and to know everyone in this room, and it's so honorable to be here tonight.
Oh, Olivia, great to have you. I mean, this whole game, we got into this mess together, we get out.
Yes.
There was some, just to add some firewood onto your cane being removed, just, again, another beautiful email. I kick right into phonics immediately. And, of course, farewell to acting legend Mick Rooney, 93. So that 93 is the 12 labors, okay? 12 labors of Hercules, the 12 disciplines achieved. And what's happened here is the magnetic electric key that was stuck in the roux, or the roux. Roux is a thickener for soup and stews and whatever. So it's flour, Flower, oil, O-I-L, and water, right? So there's your elements. The flower of life, the oil of life, and, of course, the water of life. So there's your trinity. So the roux, me, Capricorn, Christ consciousness. So the stickler that was stopping the Christ consciousness from getting through died. That's how you change things from a literal to an anagogic, and you see it for what the effect is. And it gets played out, again, it gets played out in human form and animal, nature, whatever the case may be. I can watch regular mainstream meat stick fear porn news and know exactly what it's saying, completely translate it from its literal. Remember, in order to keep the golden rule alive, we have to not be trespassed on our free will choice to accept things. So if we accept things literally as the truth in a physical sense, that's how this entity aspect has been kept clean. And I'm going to tell you something with regards to, let me open up again. Which was it, the demiurge? What I just said there, no, hang on, I know where it is. Well, I've got so many here from D, I've got to just, here it is, origins of the negentropic fields. This is exactly what we're dealing with here, because as it's been long known that the Nephilim cannot reproduce within themselves. They have to have a human crossbred host, which is typically any human with the DNA, chromosomes. There's your blood and chromosomes from Star Trek playing itself out. Of course, the planet they started on there was Nibiru. Go figure. Just a coincidence, right? But what we have here are entities that had to alter the DNA of the life source that was already here, that was very pure, that was basically infinite, immortal. And in order for this aspect to survive, it's a parasite, okay? A parasite feeds on a host until the host is no longer there, and then it moves on to the next. And that's I see in the fractal of the universe of this Uru reptilian brainstem. There's your 250. What's that?
They call it a Roboros, the serpent within the tail, within the mouth.
Yeah.
Roboros, yeah, definitely, Kate.
Yeah.
On that, like.
Yeah, so what we're dealing with here are entities that had to get us to consent to breed with them, and in that consent, what's happened is the 23rd and 24th chromosomes were fused together, so that is the one chromosome from that particular species, and as it says here, they're nitrogen breathing, so of course 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 1% trace gases in our environment, and if you haven't been noticing, there's been a decrease of oxygen on this planet over the last 10,000 years, where it used to be upwards of 35% oxygen. Now we're down to probably about, I would say, between 18 and 20%. So what's happening here, and of course that's what industry does when we're putting all these poisonous gases into our environment. It's creating a lot more carbon dioxide, which, by the way, is what keeps trees alive. That's the natural gas that's here. But it also creates a reduction in oxygen, and, of course, it's a deforestation. That removes the trees that take the carbon dioxide that turn it into oxygen out, so the overall oxygen of the planet drops as a result. So what was the name of the movie? Charlie Sheen was in it years ago. Anyway, he had stumbled into this particular race that was what do they call that? When you change a planet. Geoengineering, thank you. Geoengineering the planet to lower the levels of oxygen and raise the levels of nitrogen, and it's exactly the same thing. So, of course, I trust the silver screen. Anything that people see as science fiction, I look at, and I know it's pure truth if you can see it. So this is how we got duped out of this. The name, or the Narmer palette, connects that spiritual tube, and each set you have with this system has a tube direct to them, and you're feeding them the life that they need to sustain. And of course, you'll know that within the bloodlines they keep it very, very clean, but that's not to say that a lot of these particular dead entities haven't got into the regular population, which they have. You'll see them, they'll take jobs like cops and politicians and lawyers and judges, and they will interbreed with us as well. And with basically the attempt to breed us out, it goes back to the prima nocte, where the Baron had rights of first night.
I was about to say that, okay. Prima nocta.
Prima nocta.
We used to do it in Scotland and that, eh?
Yep.
They say with that the people, the peasants, so-called peasants, would actually be willing to do that because they would have a son from a lord, you know what I mean, and all that shit.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't know about that.
Well, here's the thing, and the reason why it was done and why the surname is so powerful, excuse me, not only connected to the original curse of the Narmer palette, what you have there are interspersed bloodlines, so that when they go outside of their own circles and breed with others, there is potential that...
Schisms.
Yeah, there's potential that DNA that they've been trying to breed out, ours, and literally get them into a body that can have a soul, for me, is just the means to invade higher levels of a spiritual realm. So this really is a war in heaven here, guys. Okay? And the easiest way to kill the beast is to kill the name. Kill the not applicable magnetic electric. Anything involving the system, and you got to do this in your mind and heart only. But that doesn't say that you fall back into the same routines. You got to walk this course, and the only thing that's going to set you free is truth. That's it. That's how we build our DNA, with our aha strands. Okay? King Mean, also known as King Aha, had a son called Aha. When you look at MR, which interestingly is in this key under the Hermit, the sign, right? It has MR. MR means the son of. So when you are saying that you are Mr. So-and-so, what you're saying is you're the son of whatever surname, and that surname, all of them are owned. So you're saying you're a son of the system. That's why they talk about people on board the ship, the lesser, as Mr. Christian or Mr. this or Mr. Anderson. Isn't it funny how that came up in the Matrix? Not at all. It's pure truth. So these are the little things that I'm looking for. And I also found through the signs of the tarot, with the number key, the Hebrew letter key, and 9 key, that's the one you sent to me, Paul. If you look at the Fool, what the Fool is it's got a triangle with a little bridge. Like, think of a letter A, capital letter A, that is joined at the bottom to make the triangle. And what the Fool is the all-seeing or all-creating I, the all-creating self. It's complete. It's bridged. Okay? That's why when you look at the dollar bill, it has that pyramid at the top separated. So when you become the Fool, now let me just tell you what the Fool is, and this is why you got to let go. And look at that, it's ruled by heaven, Uranus. Where is it? Here we go. The meaning of the Fool card is this, and of course it's Percival or Pierce I Veil. It's all hidden in the phonics. The beginning of adventure, establishing a path. The enthusiasm which accompanies the onset of a new project or idea, pure creativity, that's what that's saying. The dawn of new experiences, the broadening of horizons and the envisioning of goals and ambitions. This is the dreamer. This is the one thing that these entities cannot do. They cannot lucid dream, nor can they be creative. This is why when people ask me, Kate, did you get a response from these guys? No, they can't respond to it because, one, it's pure truth, and two, they don't have the creative wherewithal to even attempt to respond to anything I'm sending. It's pure creation. All right? Again, back to the Fool. That's the Fool, full, the one who is full. Okay? Unaware of the pitfalls, one embraces the future with great optimism. Not fear, not whiffs, not fear and doubt and all the rest of it. And depending on the surrounding cards, this innocence and undaunted manner may serve one well. No, that's the only thing that does serve one. Inspiring others with one's infectious energy. And that's what this table is. It's very infectious, and it has to be, because the only way you're going to kill a virus is to be one. You want to catch a serial killer? You better start looking like one. In such a state of mind, one is free to enjoy life and indulge in wonderful, if occasionally unrealistic. Of course, you want it to be unrealistic. Everything in this realistic world is bullshit. Imaginings of the future, or the I-making inks of the future. Your writings, R-I-T-I-N-I-N-K-S, right? Write inks. And it's all in the phonics. That's why I want to do a little key. But I thought it was interesting. That was the Fool, so that's the culmination. And, of course, it's the 0 card, not the 1 card. 1 is the Magi, which is the mother of the Fool, hexed of the eye, hexed eye, okay? So that's where these Magi or magicians have literally hexed creation. Interesting, I loved where was it? The Hanged Man is an upside-down triangle with the base at the top, and Judgment is the vertical triangle, and you put those together and you have your tetrahedron, or your Star of David, for lack of a better way to describe it. Nothing Jewish about it, and everything Jewish because, being a Jew is not ethnic, it is spiritual. It's not based in meat stick religion. It is a state of being. It is the je, the I that plays. Je and je are both same sound. Well, that's where the je suis, or Jesus, the je suis, the I am. All you have to do with the name Jesus, the 888, which is 24, sound like chromosomes to you? All you have to do is put the I, or the one, the self, back into that. You see, this is the thing. You have to put yourself into Jesus, not the other fucking way around. Religion teaches. That's where you become the je suis out of the Jesus, or the je suis, which is under. Sous in French is under. Okay?
Yeah.
It's all in the phonics. So play around with this. And you will be amazed at the wonderland you open up. You will see Oz for the very first time in such a way that it will. If you don't get giggles with this stuff, I can't help you. Now, interesting that the moon is opposing what looks to be 2 opposing 3s. Okay. Strength, of course, has to be Libra. It has to be balanced. So the hangman, the as above tetrahedron, part of the tetrahedron, to the judgment as below. As above, so below. The hanged man is the... let me read hanged man for you. Everyone thinks it's negative. It's not. Okay? You got to look at both sides of this. And it's ruled by Neptune. Of course, that's the mystery, my story planet. Okay? The meaning is restriction, self-sacrifice. Well, yes, this is going through the Christ consciousness of the noble cause of others, feeling drained of energy and resources. Yeah, the floggings do take its toll, but you get through them. Suspension of plans. Yeah, I'm not playing in the physical anymore. Seeming to have no control over the events of one's life, nor should one worry about it because the game's already written for you, by you. So why don't you play your book of life instead of the book of the dead they want you part of using the non-applicable magnetic electric called name? A wise and sometimes temporary surrender, I call it meditation, in order to conserve energy, to build energy, to not give it away to the parasites that are feeding on you. Enduring self-sacrifice is a part of initiation. Yes, it's about being strong enough. The experience and teachings of recent trials renews a sense of peace, heightens the feeling of being alive. Yeah, you don't know what alive is until you're looking at the other side of it. Intuition and psychic abilities are attuned through suspension, which means you start to pick up things as soon as you can shut up your left brain ego shit enough to sit down and listen to your higher self. And then you're going to start rewriting your stars. So when you get that right, now you're dealing from the hanged man, the above. If someone's hanged, are they not higher? Yes, of course, they've got a better view. But of course, the negativity of the rope around one's neck. But look at the allegory. What it's doing is it's choking the physical torus field, just like why Judas hanged himself. That was the allegory of the killing of the physical torus field. You've now gotten your higher torus field back, your ability to create from the heart, instead of just Babylonians, you know. Anyway, so there's a few insights to just a different way to look at things. It's getting funnier and funnier. It really is. What was the Chariot? I thought was interesting. Well, it's the number 7 card. I was looking at the and again, Paul, you came back to me with the Aleph, which is the first Hebrew letter, which is what does it coincide with?
It coincides with the Kabbalistic terms. They call it the Ein Sof. That's like the Kepher. You know what I mean? On the Kabbalistic tree, they would say that's the Kepher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Kafir or the Kiefer.
Exactly.
How about Kiefer? How about Keither, the Ether Bunny?
Exactly.
Okay, get it? That was the original name, right? So
I had to call it the first. We start to look into this, Kate. Even the Masons are doing it. The Masons have been doing it for years, and then we start to look into Kabbalism. It's like Hermetic Kabbalism, Christian Kabbalism, Quabbalism, Jewish Kabbalism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's magic, but it's their magic. So when you start to look into it, if people start to practice it, in my opinion, you'll catch these negative energies. They've been you get negative energies fake. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And basically, they say try surround your body like a shell. You know what I mean? And you're the shell. You know what I mean? And they try to suck your light. So basically, they try to steal your light. Like vampires, as you say, vampires try to steal light. You know what I mean?
That's what they do. That's all they can do. And
definitely.
Yeah, that's why I went back to the. Again, go into the. I'll read this again and see how much more comes out of it. Reading it a second time, so you start understanding the nature of the entities that are dead on arrival, literally when they got here.
Archonic entities, as Sylvain Bernard would call them, they're archons. You know what I mean? In the Gnostic teaching, when you look at that, it's basically archonic energies. When you start to look into some of this through the Gnostic teachings and that, Kate, you try to break it down a wee bit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it's no literal. Even the Bible, everybody says, the Bible, you get these crazy Bible bashers, take it literal, take this book literal. And when you start to read the Zohar, none of it's literal, not even one bit of it, like the story of Adam and Eve. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, Eve did this and Eve did that, and it's like, when you read any of it, in the Gnostic teachings, they're saying that, basically, Adam was drunk and stupid. No, he was naked in knowledge, like you were saying, Kate, naked in knowledge. You know what I mean? Drunk and stupid. And the serpent came basically and told Eve to eat through the tree. Two trees in the garden. You know what I mean? There was a tree garden, the tree garden, the tree in knowledge of good and evil, and I think it was the tree knowledge.
Well, again, it was that was Enki, the allegorical Enki, and Enlil. Enlil was the.
It goes back to Sitchin's work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's another who's coming from a Jewish perspective, because he says he couldn't have read the texts for the Sumerians if he'd understand ancient Hebrew. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
even the Sumerian.
Dot dash language, they call it dot dash. And he says if it wasn't for him, his Jewish connection, basically, he wouldn't be able to understand half of this shit. You know what I mean?
The thing about Sumerian, though, is not only being in clay tablets, when light is reflected off it a certain way, it creates shapes. And it goes right back to the Kabbalistic aspect.
Well, dude, look at the pyramids. When you look at the Iraqi pyramids, and then you look at, like, say, Mayan pyramids, they're the exact same build, it's the exact same style. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're trying to say these people didn't know America was discovered such and such. Yeah, in Roslin Abbey in Scotland, they've got corn in the cob. They've got corn carvings in it, and it's like, this is 120 years before America was meant to be discovered. It's like everybody knows America was discovered through basically the Vikings, through Greenfoundland, and then Canada, and then, you know, even the Native American Indians speak a crazy mad white people coming to trade with them. Do you know what I mean? And
yep.
It's just history. There's so much when you start to look at history. There's so much stuff doesn't add up, Kate. Do you know what I mean? You're saying, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. That doesn't add up. And especially when you start to look at when I'm looking at my history in Scotland, where I'm from. You know what I mean? which is a new town. But when you start to look into it, it's a really old town. Do you know what I mean? Today, yep. It's Masonic, really Masonic. But when you start to look into history, it's like, is it Masonic? Because there's a lot of people are getting interested in Arthurian legends. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of this comes into it through, like, say, the Bryphonic speaking language. When you get into, like, say, the Pictish regions and all of that.
Okay, actually, Paul, the Bryphonic. You want to maybe outline that for people?
Well, the Bryphonic peoples, they would have been the Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish, the people from Cornwall, and the French. Basically, like Gaelic, like a Gaelic-speaking thing. But when you get into the Bryphonics, they're the real Britons. The real Britons were the Bryphonics.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then you had the Angles, and then what happened was you had Junts. And then you had, this is all very meat sticky.
Okay, Angles, hang on, slow down. My God, you're just ramming it out. I get it. I understand exactly what you're saying. I can feel people going, what? Okay, here we go. Angles, which is the goddess, all creation, negative void within. G, that is hexed. L, which is intent. L is an upside down backwards 7.
Oh, the Bali L, definitely.
Right, so there.
L, like.
So there's 1/4 of the swastika, if you will. Now, here's a question came in, which is critical to answer. It is, do we have enough time to work it all out? You bring a whole new level to things along with so many others. Thank you. Oh, by all means, sweet honors. It's like this. The only thing people need to get, there's only one thing. This is why this is so critical and why I've drilled this point home.
This is a magical world. Do you know what I mean?
It is all about one fucking contract. That's it. There's only one contract, and it is to get your consent. If they can own your consent, you've got a tube coming out of you, and they're stealing all of creation itself as a vampire. Okay, that's the allegory. The one thread that holds this whole system together is the only thread you need to cut, and you do it in your heart and your mind, and then you work through it with intent. This whole system, everything on this planet is a construct designed to get your consent, to get you agreeing with it, to get you to play with it, to be in it solid. That's that little fused chromosome thing that says that you think you should, and I know you shouldn't. Okay? What you need to do is understand that the name is simply non-applicable, magnetic electric, rendering you absolutely powerless to use your power because you have given it all away to the system. And that is connected through the name. The agreement, when people say that their name is this or that, the other, it's not theirs because it was their mom and dad that thought of it. It was their mom and dad that took that creation and signed it into a registration book, a book of the dead, and sealed it by touching it with their DNA, the unseen contract. So that name has nothing to do with you. You did not create it. It is not your intellectual thought property, and you have no claim to it. So when you're doing that, you're not only committing fraud against your own spiritual self, you are giving all of the energy into the Narmer palette that has you with the king means standing over you with a scorpion mace ready to pound your fucking head in and steal and steal all of your creation. These entities that are here are absolutely non-creative. They have no soul. You've seen the Shetties. You've experienced them. And the only responsibility each and every one of us has is to understand what I just said. If you use the name, have consent to it, or connected to anyone spiritually that is connected to it, you are in contract. It's like I said the other night. If you hung out with a bunch of pedophiles for a while, people might start thinking that you're what? A pedophile. Okay, guilt by association. Remember that. So clean your lines. Clean your web. Break every spiritual contract with everyone and everything in this realm. Trust no one, trust nothing. Because you don't know whether you have been part of creating one of these entities through having children. This is why the system claims them, because they don't know. They want to know your type. They want to know this. That's why they grab the blood. They want to see if you're one of them. And the ones that are one of them are the ones that typically get pulled off and put into peachy little jobs, that get put in peachy schools and universities. Okay? So this is why, start looking at it from the black and white, and then you will see it. The haves, the ones that are worshiping this system, the money whores, the bank whores, the religion whores, the monarchy whores, all of them are fucking dead parasites. They are soulless, without remorse, without any form of compassion. And they need to be absolutely spiritually fucking obliterated. So stop holding on to them. That's all I'm going to say on that.
No, definitely, Kate. You're spot on with that. Like, definitely. Create golems. That's what they are. They're just golems. These people create golems.
Yeah.
We bow down and the energy these golems get, they receive. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all these people are doing, like.
Well, yeah, and what we're doing here, now this is the one thing I want to stress with people, okay? I'm going to open up all the mics, by the way. Just hang on a sec, guys, because this is download. Remember, when downloads are happening, don't jump in, please, okay? Because this is exactly where I want this table to be tonight. Because we're getting shit done here, and I'm watching D dissolve stuff. I'm watching Paul dissolve stuff. I'm watching Adamantium dissolve stuff. Use Cash, so many others. I'm watching every one of these beings dissolve things that is applicable to all of us. And all you have to do to get your respawn ability, your ability to give life back, is by reclaiming your own life source. When you are playing with the whore of Babylon, that's the horse that you're putting ahead of your cart, your karoti, your spirit of spirit, breath, and truth. Now we put the cart in front of the horse. And if you remember the movie Gladiator, there was a battle between the Romans and the Carthaginians from Carthage. And it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to turn out. Now, did it? Yeah, right. So that's telling you this game is over. So that's pure truth right in your face. So that being said, I know Ninja is here, and I'm not sure how long she's going to be here, but I'd love to hear from her and everybody else too. So let's just keep this where it is. I don't want to get off into literal fucking nonsense, guys. I'm done with that. Let's stay the course and figure out what the concepts are. Ninja.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving this. This is the next level for me. We talked about this the other night, Kate. And Paul, I'd like you to please send me anything you want. You know how to reach me.
No bother. I was the other night there when I messaged to get the number so I could listen in. Like that was quality, Ninja.
Yeah, just send me anything you can and send me for an email if that's easier for you. This is definitely the next level, and we need to be paying attention because we've uncovered so much so far, but what's happening, Kate, and what we're saying is there's now different ones of us that are starting to unpeel the layer and sharing, and then we get the bigger picture, and it's really very exciting, but at the same time, there's a lot to take in for some of us, including myself, so I'm looking forward to more of it.
Yeah, and a lot of the things...
By the way, I just want to say, before I do forget, I have just put my website online today, and Ninja Bambi at WordPress.com for anyone who wants to have a look. There's not that much there at the moment, and it isn't, a big deal, but I've just decided to do it. So there you go.
BFT, baby, BFT. While we're at it, we're at the top of the hour. Do you want to do the critical mass shout-out?
Will do, indeed. Yeah. Okay.
Please?
So here we go. what we're here for. It's truth, and truth at all costs, and nothing but the truth. And you can find that at CMR Critical Mass Radio every night of the week, all the weeknight evening on the main platform on criticalmassradio.co.uk, and on this platform that Kate uses every night, 7 nights a week. Thanks so much to Paul Giovanni, who, by the way, had a birthday, which technically was yesterday, but let's say it's today. And so many happy returns to you. Lots of love from everybody, and thank you so much for what you've done to allow us to all be here right now, having these conversations and sharing this amazing truth. And if you can, take yourself over to the main sites and drop some shekels in the box, or some love and some clicking and sharing of links on your social networks to get this message out. Thanks very much.
Yeah, exactly. And just to jump right on that as well, I've had a few people ask, Kate, how can I help you? And, I have absolutely zero connect to the system at all. And don't worry, the professional bag lady is okay. The only thing I want people to do right now is, with a concerted effort, focus all of the energy at Critical Mass Radio. Okay? If you want to help me, you help Critical Mass. That's how you help me, because when you do that, you're not only helping me, but you're helping yourself and everybody at this table. So this is the game of the all. And I put the hub of the wheel at Critical Mass Radio, and we're spinning this game out. So for those that have that intention, thank you very much. And I will tell you, if I ever need, I will ask. That's why I don't, because I'm okay. We're okay. The universe has me. Let's just flow the intent and anything else towards Critical Mass Radio to strengthen this hub, to get this wheel spinning faster. And the best help you guys can do is get the word out. I don't care what website, how you do it. The easiest way to do it is just pop my map reference in somewhere, anywhere, and get people to have a look, okay? Because these are our words. They're not mine. Like I said, I just put together words. If they're saying the exact same thing you would say, then whose words are they? Like I said, I'm a dot, son and daughter, dot connector. I put it together. If it resonates with you, then those are your words. This is why you cannot copyright anything of mine, because it's pure spirit. You cannot copyright anything that's alive. Anything that's alive is the original.
See what you do, Kate, by the way. What you do, I've been saying to a few boys in Scotland, like, few meat, as you say, meat sticks. You know what I'm saying? Check this lassie's workout and that, and they're like, we're looking at your stuff, Kate, you know what I mean? And then they're coming back and saying, that's not lassie, and that. I'm saying, but who cares, mate? This is a being, mate, who's fucking burning Babylon's boats big style, you know what I mean? So respect, Kate, respect, you know what I mean?
Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is put up a new picture on my Facebook. I'll just get a nice shot of my skirt hiked for my ass. That might convince them otherwise. There you go.
I'm sausages that one, Kate, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's funny there, this was a while back. Someone asked me, he says, wow, you wear fairly short skirts. There's a couple of people standing around, and I just kind of, yeah. And then one of them said, yeah, because she can, bitch. Right? So there you go. Anyway, and it's all in fun, guys. It's all in fun. This is the whole point of this. I'm just a clue, right? I'm just a clue, a nail, a key, right? So just keep that in mind. But like Ninja, thank you so much, and I'm so glad. Ninja Bambi at WordPress.com. Yes?
Yeah, that's right. Keeping it simple.
Okay. Well, that's the way we do it, right? kateofgaia.wordpress.com, and of course, anything that anybody wants there is yours. You see, I cannot claim anything in the all because it's all ours. So why would I limit myself to little pieces of something when in fact we are all in everything? And this is what's really sinking in. And the only thing you got to do is cut that mental heart thread that has you connected to the Narmer palette, that has you cursed. And guys, I know it sounds unbelievable, but it is that simple. The shields instantly go up. The werewolves cannot penetrate the Death Eater shield. You know, like Harry Potter? They cannot penetrate it. Now you are pure poison to them. A vampire tries to come anywhere near you, and they know this. Because this is a spiritual contract. This is not physical anymore. Never was. We're just figured all this out now, and that's why I'm staying this course as intensely as I can. And as you're quite aware tonight, we've jumped a lot of different levels. A few pieces had them in to connect, and of course, Paul, you were instrumental in that. Dee, and a few others, where these things are really coming to a head. And of course, when I saw that Mikey Rooney died at 93, that to me was the death of the Kane mind completely. What Olivia was saying earlier. Now I've got Janet in here. I know I've got Richie and 704. Why is that not clear? Oh, Fabian, I believe.
Hi, Kate. I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, I want to know what it means then when they say forgive them, they know not what they do.
Well, that's the ones that are of the spiritual nature. They don't know what they do because they're operating in ego. That's why I tell people, stay the course. They're not your concern. The only concern you have is to sort yourself out, because if but one shall awaken, they are doomed. And it only takes one. This is why this thrust is so intense right now, because look how many of us are gathering, and what we're doing collectively is creating the one. It doesn't matter to me who or what it is. You are Christ.
Right.
That's a state of being. It's not a man. It's not a woman. It's a state of being.
Yes.
And they threw it inside a meat stick and threw it up on a cross and made everybody afraid of it. If you go against us, this is what you can expect, asshole.
They'll believe it, and they did. I cracked up for about 10 minutes when you said that.
Yeah.
We'll throw this meat stick up on a cross, and we'll tell them that he died for your sins, and maybe they'll believe it, and they fell for it.
We all did, but we're a whole lot wiser now, It's all good, Now, okay. By the way, I when I left the table last night, I actually came back and the show was over. So thank you again, Richie, for hosting the rollover hour tonight. And if you're up for it,
I did a terrible. I can't step in your shoes.
No, yes, you can. You're going to have to learn now, aren't you? You want.
You did really good. Yeah.
See, there you go.
It was beautiful energy. Right. The whole show beautiful, and just tonight so beautiful. And a cat named Lilu, which is the fifth element she was named after, she had 5 kittens today. So I thought that was a cool.
The birth of the divine feminine Kati.
There you go.
Cheers. You just gave me goosebumps, Janet. And that was a lovely cup of shut the fuck up, Richie. You did a great job. That was an awesome cup of that.
Yeah, you did.
Okie dokie.
Right,
okie dokie. Yeah.
There we go.
Simon says, baby. Yeah. So 704 is that Fabian?
Yes.
Oh, I got it. Good. Memory's working. I like it.
Fuck yeah. So.
By the way.
Bring something up.
Yeah, go ahead, Fabian. I just was going to say I got really excited because I did a card split for the show tonight. You want to know what the 2 cards are?
What?
Oh, let me see. Number 11, Justice, and number 21, the Universe.
Very synchronistic.
Just a little.
So I wanted to say something. We have all these beautiful people that call over from Ireland, Scotland, the UK, other places, Canada, North America, but I never have heard anybody calling in from South America. And part of my family originates from Ecuador, and there was a Jesuit priest by the name of Father Crespi, and he had made a very close connection with the indigenous people of the Amazon rainforest of Guadalquivir Bay, which is on the coast there. Anyways, to make a long story short, after many years, he had earned their trust, and they took him into a cave system hidden in the mountains of South Ecuador, and they started pulling out sheets of gold plates. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but one of the interesting things is if you do a Google search, you'll see that there's a pyramid with 2 cats on either side of a pyramid, with an eye on top of it. You can Google this, but when you flip over this object, it has an inscription that is older than ancient Sumerian. They believe it's one of the original proto-languages before the written word, and it says, however they were able to decipher it, the Son of the Creator comes. And I wanted to know, from an allegorical standpoint, could you break that down? What does that kind of mean? How does that all tie in with all of us? Because even though it may be in South America, there has to be some sort of tie into Egypt and a tie into Scotland. And somebody had mentioned Rosslyn Chapel earlier. I wondered how all those would tie in together. Or are they even valid?
They all do. Everything connects.
Also, the flower of life. No matter where you go in the world, and the flower of life's the flower of life. You know, they've got it in China, they've got it all over the world. Do you know what I mean? And that's an old symbol. And no matter where you go, the flower of life is the flower of life, and that's in South America as well. I believe it's been found as well.
Yeah. The other thing about the flower of life was it was done from the dualistic Piscean perspective to create the vagina, where you'll see Christ standing in it. Again, it's always the cell, this shit, when it should be a 3 circles at 45-degree angles. You'll find that in nature, like the trillium. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that goes back into ancient Celt, where everything was dealt up in the 3s, okay? Where everything in Rome is dealt up in 2s, Piscean, which is, Pisces is the 2 feet, just like the Gemini is the 2 arms. The only 2 signs that are duality in the body. Okay, getting back to this priest, Kres P, or I can see Ki Ro in there right away, but Santo went into a lot of detail because he actually went to these places when he was in Ecuador. So yeah, I would. You mentioned that. I've had on occasion people from South America call in, and I really wish, because I mean we get people from all over Europe, Australia, North America. Occasionally Central America, but very rarely from South America. Of course, this place being upside down and backwards, one, the planet should be rotating. Well, all we got to do is turn ourselves upside down. Look at the ancient maps and see how we got duped into that, too. So stop buying the illusion. Nothing is what you thought it was. Break the program and say, nope, not buying any of your shit anymore. And then you go and look for yourself. You know, so it's really simple, and it all connects, like I said, right to the name. So bust that contract wide open. And I don't know if there's really anything else I need to show from my own experience of the things that I've encountered and the things that I've shared constantly on air for the last 5-6 years. I don't know how clear I can make it, but the simple truth is, it only takes one. This is the joke of this whole game. And we are honing in on that one little thing. These monkeys are shitting themselves because as soon as it happens,
they're doomed.
Well, doomed, silence means muted, means judged. And sorry, I think you're kind of lacking in the compassion department. So if you haven't got a soul, well, don't expect to be feeding off anymore. And that, to me, is what the true fallen angels are. The fallen angels, in terms of the Noah movie, as soon as they were defending humanity, right? As soon as they died, they went immediately up, allegorically, to quote, heaven. Okay, so and that's effectively, if you want to look at yourself, you are the Elohim, or the fallen angels of high, come to take out the real fallen angels. Remember the 3 crosses. There's your thirds, right?
Triad. Holy Triad, the Trinity scale, definitely.
Right, and 1/3 of heaven fell, remember? Lucifer took 1/3 of the angels. That's your Trinity that got turned into the Pisces. The Pi.
But Lucifer isn't necessarily a bad character, right? I mean, Lucifer means essentially light, or a light bringer.
Well, light bringer, but that's the wrong light. That's the external light. So I can show you both good and evil in Lucifer, absolutely.
Well, right. I see it in a Kabbalistic sense, like say with the Satan, they call him Samkel, or in a Gnostic they say Samuel the Black. That's where I got the allegories to do with law, Black's Law, Samuel the Black. When I started looking into this a couple of years ago, because of my friend Freeman Steve, because where I lived, you know. And when I started looking into this, it's like Samkel. Satan came down with Jacob, the allegory with Jacob, wrestled with Jacob. Well, that was Samuel. The Jews say they don't pronounce the names right. They'll know so Elohim. They'll so Elohim. Do you know what I mean? It's due respect and all this guy. But with Samuel, who wrestled Jacob, right? He's not going to hurt you. They can't hurt you physically or do anything bad to you. He just puts things in front of you, kind of like you could say free paths. And it's like allegorical, you know what I mean? You're walking up and it's like you get to pick what path you go on, you'll come to like crossroads and all this carry on, you know, and then you'll another free paths and all this carry on. And that's what it's all to do with you. What he can do is basically trick you. That's it, basically.
Yeah, again,
Satan is basically a prosecutor, if you like. He's a prosecutor, like another law term. He's he argues like say you're like say in the Kabbalistic sense they say a dirty droplet of water. So he'll argue your case that you're no fit to get into heaven and all this shit.
Yeah, he's a pro. Is it pro? Say cutter. Pro meaning for, say meaning creation, cutter. That's why prosecution, the term actually means do not pursue, which should tell you very clearly that no, they cannot pursue because they'd be trespassing on free will choice. The only thing that they can do is bluff you and trick you into playing the game with them.
Tricky.
Well, Loki, the trickster.
Blinded
right?
by the light, people get blinded, but like you were saying earlier, but blinded by the light, they come down and think, oh fuck me, this is a magical place. This is all sunshine and lollipops. Do you know what I mean? And then you grow up and then you get to get into the real world and then it's like, fuck me, people doing here, everybody's insane, Kate. Everybody's doing here in their own wee trips. You know what I mean? Everybody's completely off their nut.
Well, here's a question.
Definitely. We're here on their own wee trip, but it's like you need to fund yourself.
What is the
Gnostic, a voice in the wilderness, Kate? You know what I mean? We're all voices in the wilderness.
Paul, what do we call lakes in Britain, in Ireland and in Scotland? What are they called?
You didn't call them lakes.
Well, they're called locks.
Locks, I will.
Okay, now work with me here. Stay the course for a sec. I've got a very specific thing because you've brought this up. Look at Loch Ness, which is in a state of being locked. And, of course, the allegory of the Loch Ness monster, my star, is telling you that our star, my star, is in a state of being locked. Okay, so that's the allegory of that.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can't make this shit up, okay? Because we already did.
Kate, the Loch Ness monster is defined as a feminine creature. They call her Nessie.
Nessie, exactly, Bambi. But with the Loch Ness monster, that was a myth.
Okay, again, guys, we're going literal. Hang on, let's stay this course. I really want to flow this through. That's okay. I know it's excitement. It's good. We're getting somewhere tonight. This is why I know the energy. Look at the word Nessie or Nesse, which is in a state of creation. Yes, divine feminine creation. I'm going to prove everything in the phonics very easily. Now, what is an expression the Irish use and the Scotch as well when they want to talk to their mother? They'll say something like "Ach, mommy," right? Okay, I've got a Belfast brogue, and this is why I totally get what you were saying about the accents, and really it's only the Scottish and
the dialectics here.
Yes, the Northern Irish accent and the Scottish accent is the only accent you can use to pronounce certain Hebridean or Hebrew words. Now, stay the course here for a sec. What is och? Well, ox. We go back to the calf. Ox, O-X. The only two letters that any way you flip them will always remain in the same form they are. What is O-X put together? That's T, truth, Phoenician letter, T, kappa, ta, L, T. All right, so now what we've got is that's singularity. The O and the X, the kiss and the hug, are the singularity. Now, when you have ox, that's the mirror of the personified spirit, Ka, or Kaz. Cause, get it? So what we're doing now is we are Ak. That's you familiar with the term Ak to take down airplanes? Yeah, it goes on and on. I can connect every single dot because what?
Well, as you're saying there, sorry I've turned it up, Kate, but to say what I mean, Ach, as it says Ach, you know that's how we would pronounce it, Ach. And the Hebrew means brother.
Yeah. Which is the Christ. Yeah, which is the Christ consciousness. Yeah, which is the Christ consciousness of spirit breath into creation in the laws of truth of the Trinity through consciousness spirit breath. That's letter by letter, brother. Is that one fucking word, or does that sound like a sentence to you? So do you want to hear it again? This is what brother is. Write this down with your crayons on your paper, boys and girls. Okay. We color outside the lines here. B, Christ consciousness, that's 13. Ophiuchus, the healer, or the I do not heal, like a dog, to the Piscean heel, the Achilles heel. That'll kill you every time. To kill, Iaz, heal. Okay? So what we have is B, which is 13, the Christ consciousness. R, Ro, spirit breath, and there's that Scottish row your boat, laddie, right? Okay? Then you have O, which is all of creation, the singularity. T, the note of love, which is the law of truth. H, with the Trinity, the bridged, or the two sides mated with the bride, and when they come together at the top as the fool, the dreamer, you create the letter A. Now we also have E, which is flipped over into the 9, lowercase, which is consciousness. Uppercase, it flips to the 3, which is the Trinity of all creation, spirit breath. So there it is, one sentence. Christ consciousness through spirit breath into creation of the law, through the law of truth, the Trinity bride and bridegroom joined, H, eta, look it up, in consciousness of the Trinity through spirit breath. Brother, so Elohim, there's that again, right? Oh yeah, okay. Yes.
Hey, Kate, I just wanted to connect this to when you elevate, like this fold that I'm talking about, right? Because you're 50, right? I'm 46.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's 90. Yeah, that's 96, right?
Yep.
Get the 96. So when your consciousness begin to connect, these things just seem to magically appear. In Hebrew too, I just wanted to add Hebrew, like bro's brother. He, H and E, eighth letter of the alphabet. Fifth. Anyways, he's 13. There's the Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness. Hebrew. B. There's another Christ. B. 13th for it. Row your boat. And the spirit breath. You see, so that's exactly what it is we're doing. We're speaking the spirit breath, and
it's Richie, one sec, just to back you up again on that. Take the double U, which is a polarized duality intent. Take the W out and put an O in, because when you say any word that has a W in it and you replace it with an O, what you're going to notice with your mouth is you are not to be sucking in the illusion. You're going to be projecting out creation.
Yeah, bro.
Wow, that's cool.
So he brews,
right? Well, look
out.
Look at the word
Vogue.
A word with wood, okay? WOOD. Well, let's take the W, put an O there, and take D out and put a T, the truth instead of the mirror. And what do you have? Woot. And everything is getting projected out. There is no returning of it. It's pure ebb. Pure flow, no ebb. So for me, and I've spent a lot of time just shaping letters out and sounds in all ways that I can think of in order to see what is it doing with breath. Is it making your cheeks pull the energy in or push the energy out? When you take the W out and put the O in, you've literally reversed the spell in the intent. It's so easy. Kindergarten.
It's a whole new level on songwriting, doesn't it, Kate?
Huge. Huge. Like it's an amazing thing. And when you start hearing this in real time, you'll start hearing the duality conversations that people have. You're hearing what they're saying literally, but more importantly, you're deciphering what they're saying anagogically, and they're two entirely different conversations. So I know when someone has started to really get this, because what they're saying, what they're creating, is actually having cause, and I can feel it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love hearing God speak, and that's you. When you get this, now it is the true source talking, the true Elohim. And by the way, him, or him, is feminine. He and him are both feminine.
Of course, the mirror, the duality, exactly.
Right, and the letter Q. Well, there's the O with the intent sperm making its way into the ovum. That's why we have queens and queen bees. Okay, there was another one too that Dee had sent regarding something about U.S. drones, about the technology get taken. So that others can use the drone technology against the U.S. So I just saw that as, look at that. The trap of the U.S. is now getting destroyed by us taking their drone. Yeah, not a coincidence. information awakening the other drones. It's friggin' awesome. It's too funny.
But maybe, Kate, the whole, there's a book that I have. It's called The Secret Destiny of America. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but maybe the end game of it all is so that we all become, Phoenician, and that this is a part of that process is rediscovering all these things through you and other people. Maybe that's the beauty of it all. It all seems very, in the mirror, scary and terrifying, and that even the governments are against and all that. But maybe in the mirror, from the other side, that's the way we have to walk to become enlightened.
I totally agree. And one of the things that people, where was I going? Because you had said something that triggered. Oh man, there's so much information. It's just sorry. That was a scatter fractal right there. Thank you. Nice one. That went off in too many directions. I couldn't catch it. But anyway, the whole notion. Cool. Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. Cool. Peace dove, baby. Peace dove. Right? And, what was I going to say there? It left me. It's coming back. Again, talking. Anything like what you said there, Fabian, about the name of the secret something of the whatever. Remember this.
The Secret Destiny of America. Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's very much like.
Yeah, well, yeah. If we buy into the literal definitions of reading things literally, like everyone has been taught that most mystical of books, the Bible, or the duality Taurus, right? It means two, but two Taurus fields. Which one are you going to stand in? The one in bullshit that's keeping you entrapped? I just got my thought back. Or the one that's going to set you free. And the only path that I found that is completely effective all the time that everyone can do is stay focused on standing in the truth and look for the aha moments, because that's what's going to bridge you across. And the biggest aha you should get is knowing that you snip the string of the name and know that it's not yours, never was, and if you have anything to do with it, you are spiritually bound to feed these vampires. Once you get that and you decide, no, I'm not going to do that anymore, that's what it means to change your mind, change your universe. Because what will happen then is all of a sudden these shields go up around you, and then all of these other things start falling away. You don't need them, or you don't need any of these things, and that's where the magic really shows up. Janet, if you could share your, you still there? I just want to make sure you're still on the board here. I thought she was. Yeah. Janet, if you could, I think you had mentioned the other day that you were in the parking lot again, and the Goonies came in and left.
Oh yeah, at the library. But I only have a back license plate, but it's a 313 FY. But I have no tags on, and I don't carry anything. I haven't for a long time, and they just pulled right up by me. I was doing research, and they just sat there and stared at us, me and my two granddaughters, and then we had to leave. So, and I didn't feel, my heart didn't beat fast. I just thought, well, this might be my test or whatever, but
that was your second step.
We just drove away.
Okay, you took your leap of faith. You had the first one you talked about, and this is why I wanted to bring this up tonight, because what you did there with that was you proved to yourself that oh, look, lightning strikes twice in the same place, and it's going to strike a third time and a fourth time and a fifth time, and all you got to do is stand in that power that you have and never doubt it, because you've taken your leap of faith. Not only that, you backed it up again, and lo and behold, the meat stick maggots, right? They love feeding on the dead. Remember, a maggot will only eat dead flesh. That's why you can use it for wounds and stuff, because it won't touch the living and it'll clean all the dead. So you let those maggots go off and feed on something else that's dead, because they cannot touch the living. That is a fucking prime directive fact. These guys cannot touch, come anywhere near, to feed on, pure poison if they do, any of the living. This is power of the name. This is how powerful it is for you to break the spell of the Narmer palette. I know it sounds far-fetched and all the rest of it, but this is not New Age bullshit. Okay, they're all still stuck in the woo, the what, the who, the when, the where, and the how, but they don't know why. I've got these really groovy crystals. Oh my God, I'm such a shaman. And they haven't got a fucking clue what they're talking about, because they don't understand the difference between physical and ethereal. They're still stuck in.
I'm glad you said that.
Oh, I'm so sickened by this new cage idiocy. You got a bunch of people talking about this, that, and the other, and be, do, and have, and love, and groove, and eternal this and that, and they haven't got a fucking clue as to who and what they are.
And they're using it. And when a person like a shaman or a person who uses crystals in meditation, crystals, like you were saying earlier about geodes and center of the earth and rocks, those things are amplifiers on some level. So if they're already in a distorted view of their own truth or a truth, would they be amplifying the distorted truth throughout?
That is
Correct.
exactly what I've been saying all along. If you are speaking from a straight literal perspective, the hidden intents are inside those sounds. Remember, the flat line of all magnetic, genie in a bottle, baby. Okay? The all creation is a genie and will grant every single wish. Fact. And if you are not in full... Go ahead, Minch.
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd pause then.
No, it's all good.
I've been thinking that somebody mentioned earlier Lucifer, and I want to touch on that because I've had a little thread running through. A Lucifer was, I thought, only a slang expression in the UK for a matchstick, but actually it's not slang expression only, because in Dutch, Lucifer actually is the word for a matchstick. And then we come to the matchstick men, you see. Then there's this painter, very famous artist in England, in the north, in Manchester, called L.S. Lowry, and he painted matchstick men and women. And his subjects were the slaves who worked in the factories, in the industrial towns and cities.
Yep.
And they
dying of sulfur poisoning. Yep.
Yeah, and so the only point I'm making is Lucifer represents the matchsticks. The men and women are enslaved.
And what is a match? Ninja, what is a match? A copy.
Oh yeah. There you go, next layer. And if you look at his name, L.S. Lowry, it's spelt L-O-W-R, but stick an E in there, it's lowery, lower. So L, electric, S, divine feminine essence, is being lowered by this matchstick Lucifer, outside yourself, worship, slavery, blah, blah, blah. There you go.
And the ancient sun god was Lu, Logos. Okay, now let's take this one step. Lu, so think sun god, Ra, Psi, spirit, Fer, from ferrous, meaning iron. It's all physical.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a physical realm game. And that's what, in terms of the Luciferians, that is exactly what they're selling, the poisoned light. Remember, when you open your eyes, you are no longer in the now. You are looking at the past because of the time it takes light to travel to your eyes, get code, and for you to formulate what it is. It might just be the twinkling of an eye, but it doesn't matter because you're in the past. When your eyes are open, the light that you see is poison to the now moment. The only way you can be now is in meditation. That's the only time that you're only focused on you. Go ahead. Oh.
And this connects. That's why I like to say I see the things that I've experienced, and that's why that'll come later on, because you're on a roll. Is you're seeing things that are spot on, and it can, like you said, that light, it's poison. You said, wow. It's just so I like because you're saying it, and it's connecting things like just at a phenomenal rate here. And you've said that before, and I didn't say anything about it. I'm still not. But the thing is, like you're talking about the DNA, that the 23rd and 24th or 27th.
23rd and 24th strands are fused. There is one strand in the DNA, or the chromosome rather, that is longer than the others, and that was for me, that's the alien DNA that got fused to the living. And again, these entities cannot breed. They need a human host to do that, to propagate their species. Without the human host and that connected DNA, they cannot keep their thing going. Remember, they're not based on the silicone-based lipids that they're dealing with. They cannot connect to what we would call the soul. And of course, the humans, well, we are the soul. The pre-humans, rather, before this particular model, right? We're all soul. That's you go back to the allegory of the Ibi and the Uru, the bird people, the higher mind, and the Uru, which are the reptilians. You know, this is why Dave Icke needs to shut up for 5 minutes about fucking reptilians and all the rest of this stuff, because it's an allegory for the reptilian brainstem. If they focused more on what the effect of the cause is, instead of looking at, they're lizard people. Well, of course they are. Right. But again, everything is morphing. Everything is transforming. This place that we are at right now, this is the Alamo. The whole universe is dependent upon us getting this.
Yeah, literally, yeah. I think
we are the last wall to the spiritual realm, and I will not yield this. So from my perspective, they've already fucking lost, because I get this. I know what they're doing.
I think if David Icke took a better, deeper look into it, you know.
Well, again, it's all the fear porn and all the drama and the literal shit that keeps going on. This is why, for me, I want people to start.
David Icke, it makes money. It's for money.
Yeah. It's about the concepts,
it's for money, man. Look at the same with the Alex Jones prick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're all
fear porn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Republicans and Ron Paul.
Yeah, system.
Yeah, well, they got their DNA strands fused too, so you know it's like I said, it's easy to get caught, to be misdirected,
well,
to be misguided.
A while back, about
misguided, misdirected.
Sorry, there, Rich, mate. I was just saying.
That's cool.
That fact. What's his name again? Fucking even forgot. Alex Jones. When he kept on pushing gold back money, gold back money. I'm saying to myself, well, gold back money, that's a hypocrisy, do you know what I mean? That's back to worse than we were back in the feudal fucking days, do you know what I mean? It's like,
well, that was the
what's this guy about? You know, people are buying it, buy gold. It's like, fuck off.
You've heard the stories regarding, the ancient stories regarding gold, that the spiritual consciousness was trapped in the gold. And that's why they collected.
That was getting made and all sorts. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a concept. What it is the acceptance and consenting outside of self a value greater than you, and that's how your consciousness gets caught in the money. Now it's just paper and fucking steel planchets. Okay, so that's how valuable that your spirit is deemed and degraded. Me, I'm priceless. There's nothing in the physical realm that can replace me.
Exactly. That's the way I've always looked on things as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm priceless. Do you know what I mean? Unique.
Oh, and there was a question in the Skype room I did want to get to. One sec. Kate, basically we are unstoppable.
Hey, Kate, before you read that, can you elaborate on that? Who said that about the what is it? Spiritual consciousness? You said that they were trapped in gold or contracted in the.
Well, yeah, it was some. It was something I read years ago in Bibliotech Pleiades website. I went through that whole thing, man. I spent a lifetime on that. I was like 4 months solid just reading everything. That one came across. This is why what I do is I take in as much information as I can, and it stays. So I just access that. I may not have all the details, but I know the concept of what it is. So I save the concepts and throw away the garbage, right? So the question was this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say maybe look into that. I might. What is it called? The Pleiadians.
Bibliotech Pleiades. It's a huge resource. It's got the Megamati. It's got everything you want to know about every conspiracy. Everything. It's on that site. It's the most comprehensive site I've ever found. Don't ask me to spell it. Bibliotechpleiades.org or something. But
because there's something in there too. I know that you'd probably be able to pull out quicker than I could, but there's something else in there too that I'm just my intuition saying, you know, to look into to see if you can see something different now. Because you know what I'm saying? Because our supersonic ears are starting to resonate.
Richie, I seen this stuff years ago.
Yeah.
What's happening now is, and I've been talking about this stuff for years, even in the same context. It's only now that people are really getting what it was I was trying to get across before. This is why I'm excited, because it's like, they're getting it. Oh my God, this is awesome. All right, so let me get into this question. This is from We Are Here. So, Kate, basically we are unstoppable since these guys fused our DNA like morons. Yeah, absolutely. Because what they did was now remember we take responsibility for consenting to it. Okay? right? You dance with a partner, there's two that tango. So this is you get out of the tango, or the gratitude mind hex of creation, and turn it into the tanko, right, which is the gratitude mind in the spirit of creation. It mirrors it. Okay, so again, once you wake up to this, and it was a deception to begin with, and of course any deceptions are nullified in the universal law anyway. Return to source. This is how you get home. Welcome back to the Am-Oz 1. Amazon.
Oh.
And what were the Amazonians? Women.
Fierce warriors.
Warrior women. So we're all a bunch of Amazonians here. Right?
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Ninja just shared it. Biblioteca Pleiades. If you've got a pencil or a pen, I'll spell it out for you guys. It's .net, by the way. Good. Thank you, Ninja. Here we go. BIBLIOTECAPLEIADES.net. And it is, like I said, for any site that I've ever come across, it is the most comprehensive site that covers everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they got some of my shit on there now. You know? So, and I say my in the magnetic electric intent that it's ours, okay? So anytime I say that, I'm including all in this. And every spiritual contract I have is absolutely kept very, very separate from me, where I simply just communicate now. And when we get the concepts resonate, those are the things that I connect with, and only the things that I connect with. So that when we connect these things together, when you get the concepts and I get them, and we connect them together, when it resonates, that's the spiritual contract that holds it in place. That's the DNA that's climbing for everybody. That's our and Dee did a beautiful breakdown on DNA, and of course, and is also another word for God in the mirror. On D, the Andes, Peru. Yeah, just another coincidence. Anderson. I covered this a while ago. There's On, which is a feminine goddess. Der, which is the in German, which is Theos, the masculine god, or you can call it the feminine as well. Sun. Well, there it is, the light. Well, Mr. Anderson, the son of the goddess of goddess in their own light. That's what Neo is. That's the my consciousness of creation, N-E-O. N is infinitely mine, and it means it's mine to the nth degree. Antheos, Antheogens. Sound familiar? Just a coincidence, right?
Anderson, Scottish name as well, me from the clan Jan.
There's the yes, Ya, that is mine. Ya-N. Yawn. Why do we yawn? That's why. Guys, this stuff is crazy fun. And when you really start to get it, I'm in rapture when I'm saying this. Because
like you were saying earlier, Kate, how did the old Scottish and that, how did they always introduce themselves? It was always, like, say, Mac, son of.
Son of.
You know what I mean? And like, that came into it. And you see yourself, you know what I mean, clans and all that. And you start to look into all that shit, it's kind of, it's all very Roman. Very Roman.
Yeah, again, it's, I'm actually getting to a point now where I'm going to start flipping the M out for the S. Or the F, for that matter, because S can be an F. Because father is feminine and mother is masculine. Fa, which is heart. Theos, Ro. So the heart of creation, spirit breath. And mother, M-O, is the modus operandi. Modus operandi means intent. It means to do something, how you're doing it. So it is the action, the afterthought, if you will, the afterbirth.
Hey, I was thinking of taking the S out of everything. Like said, aid. He said something, right? You aid something. Just taking the S out of everything.
Well, the S
I did that.
Is representation of the divine feminine, right? Mm-hmm. So again, it's about changing your definitions of things. You can make an S be whatever you want it to be, just to break the spell of what the hidden intent is. What was the word?
Right.
Well, think of a word. Let's say we have the English word rose. If in say somewhere in Tibet, that sound means bird. I don't know what it means. I'm just trying to give an example. That rose by any other name, well, it's still a rose, but not to them that thinks it's a rose. It might be a bird. So, do you see the hidden intent that's in there? So when you say rose in one language, it could mean definitely that sound means something in another language. That intent gets drawn into it too. That's what the Babylonians. That's the Babel, Tower of Babel, that broke our ability for that proto-language, where there were multiple meanings contained within the same sound. And when we take things literally by a defined definition within a Webster, Web of the Divine Feminine, dictionary, or dictionary, Arion, right? Ari, the high priest, on goddess. We just take things at face value. That's what it is. Fa se, the heart of creation. Va, to go. Lu, into their son. Face value means something entirely different now, doesn't it? This is why it's so important just to get the notion, just the concept, that every word means what you think it does, and its opposite, and a whole bunch of other shit too. So you might want to get that concept, and that breaks the spell right there. No more are the hidden intents, because that fraud within the fraud has been revealed. It's null and void, pro-tunk, now for then, tunk pro-nunk, then for now. And that eliminates past and future.
Yeah.
You've moved out of the space-time trap, and now you're in the condition of the now, or the new, which is a better way to say now, right? In the new, you might know that one, eh, Paul? Right? Yeah. Okay. This is why one gets off scot-free. Where the fuck do you think that came from?
Exactly. There's a lot of Scottish references, like, definitely.
Right? And the Irish and the Scottish are the same. They're the Celt. Just flipping back and forth between islands. At one point, you had the causeway that they could walk. You know?
No, Giant Causeway. I got taught about that in school.
Yeah.
It was midway two knights fighting rocks at each other.
Exactly. And again, there's an ocean between them. And if you look at my Facebook page, that's a photograph I took. Yeah, I took that photograph in 2008. Gorgeous picture.
Nice.
I love that picture because it was a perfect representation of the storm. Because it was a really shitty day that day. It was about 40 kilometer winds I was leaning into to get that shot. But it was showing the causeway. And this is what we're doing is and way means name, so it's the cause name. That's why, to me, it is not a name any longer. It is merely a map reference point to find the real me. How do I find me? Well, look for Kate of Gaia as my map reference, because me, I can be anywhere. The name is only is one thing. Me, I am all things. My way changes when I move, not when the name moves, because the map reference moves with me, not the other way around. So I flipped it upside down and backwards. And it's just the concepts you got to get. This is the hardest thing for me to get through to everyone, because the left wants to go crazy literal on it. And I don't want that, because that's what's got you trapped. Just get the concept. If the name is the thing that fucks you over spiritually, are you going to keep using it, literally, or not? No. Now you're free. Well, what about the idea? I don't give a fuck about the paper. Well, I care about you, the pure God essence that you are. Get that concept first, then I'll worry, because the rest of that shit just falls away anyway, like magic. It is that simple. You don't have any what-ifs. You don't have any, well, if this goes out, literal left brain, fucking gobbledygook Babylonian. Okay? Get the concept. That's why the literalists drive me nuts. Yeah. You know, I agree with you, but. No, you don't, because but means that you just negated everything I said, right? And you know my favorite question that people ask? Can I ask you a question? You already did. Ask me another one. And tell you what, why don't you get your God pants on and your panties, okay? And just ask a question without needing permission from teacher Kate, because I'm not a teacher. I'm another pissed-off spiritual being like you guys. Don't put me on any pedestal, and I sure as fuck won't put you on one. And if I find them, I'm out there with a chainsaw to make sure that this magnetic flat line stays flat. Savvy? Good. So what is mine is yours, and what is yours is mine. It's all collective. It's all, let's get our heads together. We got in this shit together. We get out of this shit together. And we're just about ready to roll over here in about 7 minutes. So for those that want to join in tonight, I'm going to hand the helm back over to Richie. I'll hang on for a little bit here because this is the kind of fire I love to have. But for those that want to get in, please, 661-467-2401. And, of course, you can Skype in. It's BTR listener, or which one was it? I thought I did
056.
Of course it is. Justice, 11. BTR listener 056. You can right-click on that and just hit call, and that'll bring you directly to the board. You don't have to worry about the nonsense going through Blog Talk. It'll take you straight there. Okay, thanks, Ninja. There you go. Oh, you just posted it again. Look at you. What a honey. See? That's the shit behind the scenes that just gets shit done, you know? Guts and glory, baby. So that being said, once you're on the board, just hit 1 on your phone dial pad or open your dial pad up on Skype. Don't worry, you can figure it out. Don't ask me. I did. I figured it out. You can handle it. And that'll bring you to the board. You're on the board. That'll let me know that you won in the call. And again, a great big thank you to birthday boy Paul Giovanni and criticalmassradio.co.uk. And I'm just going to keep saying this, anything that you can do for Critical Mass Radio, you're doing for all of us. So anyone that has any intentions of, and I thank you with utmost gratitude. Yes, thank you. The best way to help me is to help the hub of this wheel. That is, well, let's call it the hub now, the Trinity of Creation and Christ consciousness. It's the hub of the we all, or the wheel, the oil of fortune. Get it? Just a coincidence again. All right. Oh, so we got, looks like we have someone new here. Panarello, so I'm going to open up Panarello's line. And again, 5 minutes, guys, 661-467-2401. Anything you want to flow towards me, flow it towards the table, because you're flowing it back to yourself that way. And I'm not going to play middleman on anybody's table anymore.
Yeah, so has anyone seen the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington? I thought that was pretty explicit.
I've seen that a long
time.
Yeah, I've seen that a long time ago, and I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to actually pop that in. Fallen, yeah, good one. So you're a first-time caller. Welcome.
Thanks. Welcome to everyone too.
Right on. What's your map reference?
Australia, Adelaide, down south.
No, that would be your geographical location. I'm referring to the name as a map reference now.
I just used it because I know I was given a name, but it's sort of a nickname that sort of stuck from years ago that was given to my dad. I don't know, I just took it on just for today. I don't know, I've used it years ago as a Skype thing, and I thought, that sounds all right.
That works. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Panarello works for me.
But my given name was Nicola. So
Nicola.
I don't know what that means anymore.
Well, again, once we nullified the whole notion that the name is the thing that attaches to the Narmer palette, if you're not the name, because you're not, it's just a map reference.
Well, I actually asked my dad yesterday when I caught up with him, and he's in his 70s now, and I said, Dad, are you or are you your name? And he goes, I'm me. So that was pretty cool.
Very good. See, consciousness awakes. I'm going to open up Barb's line, too. It was a bit hissy. I just want to see if it's going to be any better for you, Barb. And 3 minutes to roll over. And then I'll hang up for a few minutes, but I'm going to hand over the helm to Richie. Oh, that's... Yeah. Okay, too noisy there, Barb. I got to close her off. We got noise in the background. All good. So, are we having fun tonight or what?
Having fun. I think this is Interesting show, man. First time on the tranny, as they say. We call it the radio the tranny. What makes it sound even more apt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly. Oh, I'm gonna. Looks like Darren wants to jump in here too. I still haven't. He's relatively new to Skype, so I'll bring him in with. I treat the newer ones with. Let me see, kid gloves. Yeah, I do this for a little while, then I say, get the fuck on the phone yourself, right? But otherwise, it's all good.
Welcome on, new callers.
Are we having fun?
Yes, we are.
Loving it.
That's why we keep showing up.
Yeah, everybody is getting their hands up right bloody quick here. This is awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
Yes.
Love.
Data Wiggy.
Oh,
yeah.
Excited and you.
I'm here and it's good. Nice to hear you and talk here again. Yeah.
Yeah, your mic's really quiet, so you might want to. There you go.
It was no, it's better. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm all right. I'm good. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, again, it's pulling apart all of the literals and seeing what's happening anagogically. You see, because if you buy the literal, you're duped by the literal, and you're creating energy towards that literal concept that is being, you're being entrained with or entertained with, enter the mirrored with. So when you take something like I said, Mickey Rooney, I took that name and the fact that that meat stick just died. That guy got his dick into everything. What a pig he was. But anyway, typical of a Bioborg, but whatever. And took the name Mickey Rooney and broke it down into what the anagogic is. So that's the Cain, the dead Cain. Cain just died, baby. That muck of the divine spirit at 93, dead.
Yes, last night I had a strange, call it a dream or something. Not a dream, but I was thinking about, it was like a stone in the heart that got crushed and then tossed away. It's like the Cain stone or whatever. I don't know what. I Googled it, but I didn't find anything. It was like a stone that covered the star. Something like that.
Another connection to Cain. When you say Cain, you think sugar cane, and sugar is the one thing that rots the flesh.
Okay.
Salt brings it together. Sugar rips it apart. Well, I'll tell you what. Take a child's tooth that's come out, put it in a glass of Coke, and see how long it lasts. That's what sugar does. And this corn sugar, this corn syrup, and all the rest of that shit is probably the most lethal sugar on the planet for humans. That's why it's in everything. Aspartame, well, you want diet stuff? Well, what you're doing is you're literally embalming yourself. You're mummifying yourself. Because as soon as that aspartame hits your stomach acid, it turns into, what's that? Embalming fluid. Formaldehyde. Yeah. Instantly. It turns to formaldehyde instantly when it hits your stomach acid. And, of course, who was part of the company that developed that? Oh, that's right, Donnie Rumsfeld. Yeah.
Oh, and Kate, by the way, the pharmaceutical company that Rumsfeld was in cahoots with for aspartame was sold and bought by, guess who? Monsanto.
Oh, what are the odds? The DNA propagators using everyone's urine to design specially modified, genetically modified organism material that fucks with your DNA even further. But as soon as you just heard that spell is broken. It has no longer any effect on you. This is the power of you. Yes, this is hard to believe, but that's what egos do. They believe. They leave the Christ consciousness behind. B13, leave? No. I know.
Yeah. That's why they say Cain killed Abel.
That's right. Poison cane fields, baby. We're seeing right through it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting clearer by the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and this stone thing, the lady that came on, I think she was a newbie, right? Newbie.
Olivia.
New Christ. Newbie. She was talking about her mom and the dream she had, and she said something in regards to what you were saying about the cane. You referred it to the cane scenario, and that was pretty good. Yeah. Well, I got to develop the ability to carry this too. That's what we're doing, and a whole another complete downloading, and comprehending this, because you're talking about this poison. Well, that light, that illumination, that's what the Illuminati, the illumination, and that guy's talking about the stone, and that's the thing too that brings to mind when Jesus, right, resurrected. They show he's in a cave. The stone was rolled away. So the allegory in connection to that story.
Well, that's the pineal gland opening. The stone breaks open, and that's when the consciousness is born, right?
Well, that case, if you look at the Rose Cross, the Rosicrucian, which all these things make up squares. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's stepping stones.
Square and all this, cubical squares, cubical spaces.
It's the War of the Roses.
Masons talk a lot about that, especially with stoned.
Which rose are you wearing? That's what it means to be war, past tense of the roses, which is the spirit breath of creations. Are you wearing the pure white or the emotional red, the House of Lancaster or the House of York? And you'll see this all getting played out to keep delusion. Love this point from James on Facebook here. Nephilim, Nephilm, right? Gets funnier. And of course, yes, Stephanie, you're absolutely right. Japanese and Hebrew are very, very similar. Mm-hmm. This is worldwide, boys and girls. This is one language, one voice, and of course it goes back to on, the magnetic electric on. Or off, it's entirely up to you. That's why they have off-is, off ice, off ISIS, off the I say, off I creation. They're telling you exactly what's going on. So those that are and the whole game here is we've been staring at the literal, getting all of these long, drawn-out explanations of something that requires maybe 3 or 4 words. One of the reasons why I get so frustrated just talking, excuse me, in any length at all. But again, it's about getting this anagogic concept driven home. Now, Dee had sent me this. A couple of things I want to go over as well with regards to the tarot that Paul sent, one of the Scottish compatriots. And just to let people know, my great-grandfather actually came over from Scotland to Ireland, and as you know, fate would have it, my grandfather, being of Scottish birth, married my grandmother, being of Southern Irish birth, County Wicklow. So it was a complete unification of the Celt energies from both sources. So again, find your life path in all the things that are relevant to you. All I can do is show you how I found mine, and because there's nothing I can do for your life path. That's yours. I can maybe point a couple of hints at you in particular, but really it's just start letting go of things that you would think to be coincidence. There is not one single coincidence where everything is coincidence. You see, that's the problem with doubt is leap of faith, right? If you take a leap of faith and it works, you'll be all excited. But there's also the essence of doubt in there because you could consider that luck. So remove the doubt, from the I believe I can do this to I know I'm right. Move from Pisces, and everyone gets stuck at the Pisces. They won't take the second step into Aquarius, which is the allegory of changing your stars. And this is how you change your stars, by walking the right paths. So as soon as you, let's say something you did that you thought might be impossible, and you took your leap of faith, you took your step into it, suddenly if you find that, oh gosh, it is possible. But then there's that, well, maybe it was just lucky, maybe it was just coincidence. Well, take the same thing and take the next step. And when you see that the truth that is self-evident stands for itself, it's not luck anymore. And I will use that in 2 examples of me that I can show literally online. A judge bows to the sovereign, leap of faith. Cops run away, March 14th. Aquarian, I know. There's no doubt. It removes all the doubt. If it happens once, it might be luck. But if lightning strikes the same place twice, that's not luck. That's fact. And that's this whole leap of faith. Everyone keeps forgetting that a leap of faith is one thing. It's taking that second step that's really going to make or break you. And most people are terrified to take the second step. And prime example with, I think it was Janet the other night. She was in the parking lot, and again, the Goonies come in and leave. You know, there's no one getting through these barriers once you know this. And I'm going to go through this email. I won't go. I'll go at whatever pace is required to get this point across. But I really want to drill this whole alternate entity aspect home. Okay, that we as spiritual beings, infinite spiritual beings, have been messed with by our own consent. So let's lose the blame game right now. Okay, try this on. Oh, I fucked up. Time to fix it. And that's what we're doing here. Let go of all the shit, let go of all the ego, let go of all the emotion, and then start getting down to the brass tacks of what it is we need to do. And we've uncovered so much in the last number of weeks that I see in the last couple of weeks stuff that would have taken 10 years in terms of aha moments to accomplish, a couple of years ago. All right, so we're moving this at an exponential level. So bear with me on this and stay anagogic, because I really want you to start to get the notion of this very surreal little Oz that we're in. And what Dee had written me was this. Here's a blastopasta from the past. And this was something regarding Dan Winter's fractalfield.com, negentropic fields. But again, don't get literal on this. Remember, pretty much everybody you're going to talk to is going to have a literal explanation for a literally physical phenomena, where I'll take it a little bit beyond that, and many of you will as well. But anyway, here's a blasto from the past. Normally his stuff gives me a headache, but I will scan first page. Oh, here it is. What is patterning, I'm not entirely sure, but it will go along with Swiss Indo Psi, which is the 3 aspects I sent today, as well as Michael Tellinger Quartz Crystal Breakdown and Malachi Prophecy Snap-In. But here's the meat and potatoes of what this is. Quartz, love that word. Quartz is the second most abundant mineral in the Earth's continental crust, after feldspar. Isn't that an interesting word? I'll bust this down later, but yeah, that has a different frequency in it. Anyway, it is made up of a continuous framework of silicon-oxygen tetrahedra, with each oxygen being shared between 2 tetrahedra, giving an overall formula, SiO2. All right? So here's a D-snip. First page, about close to top silicon cone-based nerves. Now, pay attention to this. You've heard me talk about N-Ibi-Uru, Nibiru, the Ibi, the bird brain, the higher mind, and Uru, the reptilian brain stem. The 23rd and 24th chromosomes that were fused together was this entity aspect that has fused itself into our DNA. And I talked about this a few years ago, not to the same obvious degree, but I understood exactly then what this is saying now, so it's still holding its perfect self-evidence. So bear with me. T, Draco, Uru, the Nephilim, Anunnaki, part ancestors. Now, this is a description of them. They're lipid-based blood, which is nitrogen-breathing, cyanogen-exhaling, yeah, nice, eh? Radioactive field requiring silicon-based nerves, which present an entirely different contrast, making electrically impossible most of the pathways to getting what we would today call a soul, namely the ability to lucid dream, astral project, and take memory through death, for example. Yahweh or Enlil was by blood a Draco or Uru. Okay? So let's take the overall entity aspect and the fact that our DNA chain was messed with, that pulled us out of our perfect realm into this physical nightmare. And, of course, by consent, well, that's what happens with 12-year-old little girls that see dirty old men with candy because they're all trusting, and because there's that innocence, the whole notion of somebody harming them, you, me, was completely inconceivable, which, of course, is not so inconceivable after all because it happened. That word by itself is a totally oxymoronic word. Inconceivable, there is nothing that is inconceivable. Fact. If you can think it, you can conceive it. Conceive? Oh, something about birth? Yeah, that's what concept is, to give birth. Conceive, concept, right? Conception. Concept ion, with God ion, with 7, creations ion. Okay, so in layman's terms, what we have are entities of a physical only realm, because they cannot possess souls. And this is what I talked about a long time ago, and what I referred to in that little write-up yesterday, what the shitty are. And of course, rearrange the letters and you have exactly what they are, shite. Okay? These are soulless entities that can only exist in a physical sense and require a spiritual breath or the power of all creation of the spirit, because they themselves cannot. We'll be fine. There we go. Hey, Paul, are you there?
Oh, hey, Kate. What's happening?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you like that information, did you?
What's that?
Did you like that information?
Oh, yeah. Again, I mean, there's a Legionnaire Mac and D, of course. Legionnaire and you are of the Celt Scot, and of course Northern Irish tranny bitch here. So
yeah, use cash as well.
And use cash. Yep, absolutely. And of course we have Adamantium, and there's a handful of others that are really, really drilling this home. And collectively, I got to tell you, the stuff that all you guys are pulling together, and of course Mystified with the Narmer palette and all the rest of this stuff, and how quickly this is all coming together. And again, speaking of which, someone had posted yesterday about on my Facebook regarding reposting material that, quote, I wrote, unquote. Guys, I don't give a fuck who takes credit for it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Okay? If it resonates with you, am I going to claim the words? No. If the concept works with you and you would use the exact same words as me to explain it, then whose document is it? Whose words are they? Well, they're not just mine, are they? They're everybody's. Okay, so lose this whole I need credit for this, or I don't need credit for it. Lose the whole system think on this one. If it's truth, get it the fuck out there. It doesn't matter if it's got my name on it or somebody else's. That's irrelevant. All the name is a direction to find me, okay? And that is the thread that holds this whole system together. It's the one thread that connects back to the Narmer palette and the original curse, okay? Remember, the Mian and the King Mian, all right? As above, so below. You have the Mayan, which are on one side of the planet, and you have the King Mean, or King Mian, the male, and of course the Mayan is feminine, on the other side of the planet, where consciousness got gypped. Egypt. Just a coincidence, right? Let's go back to the cart and horse. Carthage, no, you see, I don't put the cart behind the whores of Babylon anymore. I put the Carthage in front of the whores of Babylon. That's what the Romans did. Interesting, the symbol for the chariot, by the way, Paul. I thought this stuff is amazing.
Yeah, it's just what you were saying there about Egypt and that. I've been looking at a fair bit of this, Kate, and when you look at the Hermetic stuff, it's who's coming through that? Is it Hermes or Zoroaster? And then you're looking at a lot and they're saying, well, it was Abraham's grandson. And you're saying, what? Where's this coming from? And then you start to look at Abraham and all this carry on, and then looking at Scotland, you start to find some strange names in Scotland, especially like as I was saying to you earlier, Aaron. That was Moses' brother. Plus, there's all the other strange things, a lot of pyramids and stuff like that.
Hey, Paul. Paul, I'm glad you mentioned Aran because you have the Aran sweaters. Aran Island?
Aran Island, yeah.
Okay, now let's...
Aran, yeah.
What was... You see, now look at the Bible in reverse, right? Moses, Akhenaten, condemned his brother Aaron for what? Worshipping the golden calf.
Calf, exactly.
Right? Now, hang on. What rules the calf in the astrotheology?
Was that the Taurus bull, as you were saying earlier?
No, Aquarius.
Aquarius, right enough, yeah.
Right.
See, I'm trying to know all that, or like say the astrotheology stuff, especially Dave, the zodiac and that. I'm just getting into that, Kate, but it's more the theology I was sticking in the history. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally. This is why I get people to have a look at everything, and because what happens is if you have specie all eyes in anything, well, what's money?
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box here on Monday night, Moon Day, whatever you want to call it. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, criticalmassradio.co.uk, broadcasting to you live. Of course, it's a little hard for the dead to broadcast anything, and that's the whole joke of this system, from an undisclosed point in space-time continuum, because it doesn't exist. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of fun, this game. I got to tell you, just based on the stuff that Dee's been sending me, and, of course, a couple of my Scottish kinsmen compatriots. See, the Scottish and the Irish are the same people. Just a little bit of water between them, that's all. Celts, right? Anyway, just if this system thing stands a chance at all, no, game over. It is so over. Just watching this stuff unfold in real time now, so it's making it kind of fun. Well, it's been fun for a while. And one of the reasons why, I let a lot of stuff play out just to get rid of the energies. And that's what I really do want to stress to people, especially right now. The hive mind is going schizoid. Okay, and if you are attached to that hive mind at all, and that's your reptilian brainstem, if it has any power over you whatsoever, you will react to it. And please pay attention to that. It's not a negative, guys. This is where you get to observe the contrast and to see, are these your thoughts or are they something coming in at you from somewhere else? Because I assure you they're not your thoughts. A couple of interesting pieces here that I wanted to share right out of the gate tonight to keep this on a very pedagogic level. A few things that I was meditating on this morning, just the sounds of the names, like the Aztecs, you might call them Aztecs, Aztecs, which are the wizards of technology. They disappeared. Of course, the Mayans or Mayans, Maya means illusions. Well, they kind of disappeared in a hurry. Well, of course they did. It's a magnetic electric Mayan goddess, right? And of course, have a look through things, just a coincidental nature of things like, cart before the horse. Well, are they referring to Carthage, the heart age, the core, the heart of the law of truth age? Well, of course, that's the A that's been hexed into consciousness, the G. It's really kind of funny how a lot of these things happen. And, of course, you have the Roman-slave galleys. Of course, that's the hexed all eyes, G, all eyes. You might say galleys, but I just kind of slow it down a bit and start pulling stuff apart. And what I have decided to do is I'm going to do a rudimentary key for which letters and sounds to replace within words. I'm going to keep it really, really simple. You don't need a lot of this to see what's going on inside the Phoenician or the trickster of the language. I was discussing the word psychology this morning. Isn't it funny that it's once you take the G out and put the K in, it becomes something entirely perfect. Psi, spirit, co, duality, low key, trickster. So the spirit of duality trickster. That's what psychology is. And boy, do they fit that bill, right? And the irony about psychologists is that they have long deemed the human to be just a simple meat stick and nothing more than that, no spirit or whatever. Well, they're talking about their own breed, actually, and I'm going to touch on an email that Dee sent me, that, of course, everything has been just connecting left, right, and center today, so this will probably shed a bit of light on a number of things. Now, remember, keep this anagogic, guys. Don't get literal with me, because you're going to miss it otherwise, and it's electrically impossible. So here's the game as I saw it. Well, because they cannot have a soul, they will attach themselves to those that do, and of course the Nephilim trying to fuse themselves into the what could be deemed human, pre-human, by the way. I'd rather use that, because human in any sense of the word is not as accurate as I'd like it to be. But have attached themselves genetically, and as Dan Winter put out a long time ago, that these were very, very sloppy geneticists, which they are, in an attempt to invade the higher realms. This is the Alamo. You are the soul, the Alamo. Okay? No one yields on this one. That's why I say the game's over, because nothing's getting through me. Nothing. Not one single spiritual contract, not one single consent. I will not allow any vampiric, werewolfing, Nephilim, physical-only, dead Bioborg entity get anything from me. The hose is cut. Get the visual of Neo when all of the lines popped off him when he came out of the battery source. That's the allegory of what's going on here. The difference is you can't feel these hoses that are attached to you, draining the life out of you. Excuse me. Isn't it funny that I watched The Princess Bride last night, which I haven't seen in a very long time, and of course there was the evil guy who had no compassion. He was just interested in the effects, where he had built a machine that would drain the life source out of an individual, 1 year or whatever at a time. So that is the anagogic breakdown of what's going on here. And of course, truth must always be presented. Now, truth, all's fair in love and war. I can present a half-truth to you. And if you're only looking at it from a pre-programmed perspective, you will see the half-truth as being the whole truth, and nothing but that truth. That's a polarized ego. That's a polarized ego perspective of looking at things from only half of the picture. That's your D, which is half the circle. What you're doing now is you're making a full mirror out of it, or a full globe instead of the mirror of the half moon, the capital letter D. I talked about God, G-O-D, mirrored and reversed, and literally flipped upside down over top, and it creates the Phoenician letter, which we would call a T, a capital L-T, which is a circle with an X in it. Of course, Greek letter X is Ki, Chi, which is life, Chinese. But Ki, where you park a ship, a mind, Q-U-A-Y, a key that you unlock a door with. Of course, X is the symbol for it, which is the Aleph. Thank you, Paul. The Aleph of the Hebrew alphabet. Again, X marks the spot. And that's why I want to go through this key as well for the tarot and the symbols, the Hebrew symbols beside it. And it's very, very revealing. When you start understanding what the letters really mean and the shapes, where we've gone beyond just literal definitions of them and started to see the real, or hear the real sound contained within that light symbol. We're not blinded by the symbol crashes anymore. It's waking us up, and that's where I like to stay anyway. It works better for me. There's Paul. BTR listener, let's check for you, Paul. And if not, actually, I can bring you with me, because the stuff we keep going back and forth, I'd love to have you in on this. And I also, that's a BTR listener 056, but hang on, Paul, I'll bring you in with me, and let me get you here. All right, and I put an email out to Dee. I definitely want to have a one-on-one chat with him. If we just get through it, absolutely.